I just got off the phone with the great Alo de Winter. And I learned a little bit about him that I'm going to be allowed to share with you today. And unbeknownst to me, I was talking to Alo about different places to vacation in the Philippines. And Alo said to me, he inquired about swamps, and if there are any swamps on the island of Bohol that I know of. And I said, no, I don't think there are, because I was telling him I was gonna do a vacation, like update, where to vacation on Bohol, which I know a great deal about. I probably know every vacation spot on the island of Bohol. So we'll get to Alo in a few minutes. But today's topic matter is going to be some of the best beaches that I know of on the island of Bohol, and where not, in my opinion, to vacation, to spend your vacation dollars on the island of Bohol, and more specifically, Panglao. So what we have going on here today is, for the last few days, I went and I did some drone videos of the area known as Dragon Head, Panglao. And they call it Dragon Head because apparently when you look at my last Mavic Air 2S drone video, it's kind of shaped like a head, the end of the island. I wouldn't say it's shaped like a head, but that's what they call it. So that is, in my opinion, one of two places in Panglao, or on the island of Panglao, that I would suggest that you go and spend your vacation dollars, because you're going to hear of the famous tourist location called Alona Beach, but it's not a good spot to come and spend your Christmas vacation dollars on Alona Beach. I'm sorry. It was, when I moved here in 2014, it was absolutely gorgeous, but it's not like that anymore. And Alona Beach, but it's, first of all, 55 or 60% of Alona Beach was washed away during several hurricanes, or typhoons, as we call them here in the Philippines, since, well, I don't know, maybe the year 2015. So what was once 150 feet of white sand beach, for 55 or 60% of that's gone. There is no beach at all. You have to try to picture this. There was a walkway along the beach for about 1,000 feet to the right. When you go down the hill at Alona Beach, there was a walkway. If anybody that was ever in Alona Beach knows, when you come down the hill, you go either right or you go left. Jack Thompson, the leg lover, is here. Thanks for stopping by, Jack. So if you go right, there are many hotels now, but in 2014, there were just 3 hotels, and they were like 6 or 7 rooms each. Now, there are several hundred rooms. Now, back in 2014, I'm explaining to the people that just came in why I would never spend a vacation dollar in Alona Beach again. So when you go down the hill, to the right, there was at one point a beach, about 175 to 120 feet of white sand. Since 2015, it's gone. And if you remember, if you ever were here before, or what was there was a walk path for about 1,000 feet. that led you up into a beautiful ecosystem on the top of the coral cliffs. You can't do that anymore. You're not allowed. You can go back in one property deep. You used to be able to walk along the coast for another 2 or 3 miles, all the way up and around the coast to Dragon Head. Now it's fenced off. No longer can you take that eco tour. Okay, that's gone. So it was a beautiful place to walk. You were up about 35, 40 feet up in cliffs. There were goats, wild goats, just free roaming goats. Let's put it like that. There were free roaming pigs on huge farms, but they were free roaming. There was a couple of horses up there. There were several cows. That's all gone. There's no more of that. Can't see goats. Can't see hogs. Can't see any livestock. That eco saw where you walked up the coral rock, there was coral rocks, and there was like a cut into the coral rocks, a staircase. That's all gone. So forget that. So for when you make a right at the bottom of the hill and you go to the right, all the beach is gone. All the palm trees that were along the beach are gone. Hundreds of them are gone. All of any what was once an area on the ocean side of the path where you could have breakfast or lunch or dinner, that's totally illegal now to have any seating for restaurants or foods on going either left or right. To the right would be towards the west. To the left would have been towards the east. That's all gone. There's no more dining along the pathway on the ocean. So no beach, no more dining. What was three hotels with 50 rooms is now a dozen hotels with 350 rooms. And it's just a tourist trap to the right. Now go to the east side of the island where the sun comes up of the path. That's worse. That's even worse than the path that's gone. There's nothing left of the beauty of that to the left. There was about 6 or 7 dive centers and a few small resorts. And then at the end is the Henin Resort. The Henin Resort. And at the end of that, just past the Henin, there was a cliff that had a luxury hotel at the top of the cliff. And then on that side, there was a regular staircase carved into the rocks where you could walk up from the beach, from a white sand beach, walk up the staircase, and then walk onto this high-end luxury vacation resort and overlook the cliff onto what was a nature reserve. You're not even allowed to get on the staircase anymore. That's gone. They took that away. No more tourists on the stairs. They stop you at the bottom of the staircase. Now, just prior to the cliff on the east side is the Henin Resort. What you saw as the Henin Resort back in 2015, they built it around there. But let's say at 2018, the Henin Resort, they expanded the Henin Resort. They took all those beautiful dive centers and all the beautiful resorts that were on the end of Alona Beach. The museum, where you had the nautical museum, the beautiful fish ponds, all that's pretty much gone. They built a new high-end, high-tech resort. Alona Beach, Henin Resorts took that over. So all that natural 75, 80-year-old beauty of Alona Beach, of all the trees and the banyan trees, it's all gone. So, and in between the Henin and the pathway down to the beach. There used to be, it was kind of it had the insignia of a Harley Davidson shop. For those of you who remember, they sold hamburgers, frankfurters, Coney Island franks, and hamburgers and French fries. They had the best hamburger on the island of Panglao for sure. That's gone. There were a few little bars that you could go into, and if you wanted to sing or get up on stage, and if you were a musician, you could add to the band. I don't think you can do that anymore. Maybe there's one spot that still lets people come in from the seating to go up on the stage. It's all commercialized now, and the prices at the Hennon, I'm not real sure what they start at. I'll look that up for you guys. I'm looking up right now. I have it on the screen, the Modala Resort. So let me get my page up to see if I have any comments. So, and then we're going to go straight over to to look up the prices of the Hennon Resort. And if I don't have comments, that's okay with me if I don't have comments. Hey, let's see. All right. Handsome. Hey, George, thanks for stopping by. Thank you very much, George. Thanks for stopping by. I'm trying to kill the day here. It's been raining since 5 o'clock this morning, George. And there's nothing to do. I spoke with a few of my friends. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Jack is here. Also, Jack Thompson. George, the guy below you in the comments, his name is Jack Thompson. He's been my friend for years. And I want to tell you something about Jack. Recently, he sent me some pictures on Facebook privately, into my Facebook Messenger, and he was supposed to be sending me pictures of a beach where he lives up north of New York. He sent me pictures of his head between a dozen or so different men's legs, between their knees. His ears were like actually being covered up by their knees. Most of them were facing the same way the men were facing, but some were turned around. Apparently he has a leg fetish. And he sent me that group of pictures by accident. So I know that George is a man's man. He actually is always was a handsome, very tall, handsome, dark-haired man. He likes women, but Jack likes women too, I think, but he likes also legs, muscular men's legs. I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know why I wanted to share that with you. I guess I'm sharing it with everybody right now. But Jack turned out to be an interesting, very interesting. Well, I don't know what to say about that. So let me go over to, let's go back up to I'm going to find out the Hennon prices. Now the Hennon price. Now, personally, I wouldn't give you, I think the Hennon Resort is worth $60 a day. In my opinion, along the beach, Hennon Resort, because it doesn't have any real amenities there anymore. The resort itself is beautiful. There's 12 pools. There's outside showers. The rooms are spotless. There's fish ponds in the hotel, but you are so isolated here from the world. Let's put it like that. You're isolated from the world. There's nothing to do there. If you just want to come to this resort and be pampered with some of the best food that you've ever eaten in your life, they have a buffet and they have a high-end restaurant with the highest quality food possible. So we're going to find out the prices now. We're going to go to their website. They have fantastic. Look, this is gorgeous. This is a picture of the resort. This is not. It's not a rendering. This is actually what the resort looks like. So they have, like I said, 12 pools. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. There's a children's pool over here. And then this is the beach area. So we're going to find out how much it costs. As resorts go on the island of Panglao, I would say this is by far, the nicest, most well-kept, well-groomed, high-end resort on the island of Panglao. By far, it's the nicest. So let's find out how much it costs. But it's very far. It's an hour away from the. It says 3 swimming pools, but there's 12 pools. There's bar pools, there's children's pools, there's kiddie pools. There's 120 meters of beachfront. That's 360 feet. 400 rooms. They just expanded it from 200 to 400 rooms. That's when they took over that second property. So if you just want to come and be pampered, I mean, with the highest quality foods and the highest quality pools, then the Henan is a great place. But you have to remember, it's close to many restaurants, but it's very far from the city. If you want to go to the city, it's an hour's ride from the city. So, but it's also very expensive, if I remember correctly. So let's try to find out. Let's see. Stay. The resort overview doesn't have prices. Okay, let's see. Saver. Let's see. Stay here. Rooms and suites. Let's try that. Okay. They don't throw the price up there so easy. Okay. Stay. Pool villas. They have pool villas. They have rooms and suites. And these are, I've been in 2 of the rooms for various reasons over the years. It's an amazing resort. However, the setback here is that you're on a beach, a white sand beach. They pumped in hundreds of thousands of cubic yards of sand. And it was at one time a live reef. The reef was just outside of the hotel, off the hotel's beach. It was beautiful, unbelievable reef. It was a live reef. Now the reef is dead. There is no life on the reef. That's why I say the Henan is a great place, but I would never. If you're a swimmer, if you want to do snorkeling to see a live reef, this is not the place. But if you just want to be pampered, well, then, yeah. Okay, so let's go. Complimentary breakfast. Breakfast is worth $15 per person, if that is the buffet breakfast. They have a buffet at night here. Let's see. They have a buffet at night here. I got the prices. The buffet for the breakfast is $14 and change. The buffet for the dinner is $24. $24 for the dinner buffet. Here are the prices. November 18th, 1 room, 9,000 pesos, which is $200. Figure $200. Because Rates are inclusive of the government tax. Okay, so 9,000 pesos in today's dollar exchange is $200. Okay, so then, and those are the minimum. There are prices for the higher end rooms, they go up. So we're not going to spend a lot of time with that. So an average stay at the Henan would be $200 a night. It includes breakfast for 2 people. It says right here, a complimentary breakfast buffet. Buffets are $15, so that's a $30 inclusive. Okay, and as far as the high end of the rooms, everything is high end. Brass, bronze, marble, granite, cut coral, beautiful statues, pools. The pools are magnificent. There's a goldfish pond. It's a beautiful place, but it's on a beach with a dead reef. So if you're just going to stay at the hotel, the beach is gorgeous. Now let's go to where I would suggest that you stay, because it has a white sand beach on the island of Panglao. Let's go back to the comments section. No more comments, okay? Okay, let's go back to the hotel I would recommend on the island of Panglao, which would be this place. No, this place here, the Modala Resort. The Modala, okay? The Modala Resort, I would recommend more highly than the Henan for one reason, and one reason only. This beach behind the Modala Resort, let's see if we could get on here. Behind the Modala Resort, I'm going to show you where it is on a nautical map in a minute. But this is the beach behind the Modala Resort. This is an actual sugar white sand beach. Sugar white sand beach. Okay? And where this picture is being taken from is over a live reef. Live, live reef. So if you're a snorkeler or a scuba diver, you can get from the beach here to the reef. It's 350 feet. It's 120 yards to the reef. And then the reef starts at about 8 feet of water and goes down to 25 feet. So if you're a free diver, a swimmer, or a snorkeler, this is where I would recommend to stay. Now, you're much further from the city than Alona Beach, another 15 minutes. However, immediately down this beach, immediately to the left of this beach, first of all, Modala has in-house restaurants, high-end. They have also fast food restaurants. They have a 7-Eleven. They have a pharmacy. And then across the street from the pharmacy, across the street from the hotel, are hundreds of meters along the street line, are probably 25 what we call street food in the Philippines. You're not going to see that at the Henan. So you can go outside and get a meal for $2, and the food is very, very flavorful. And I eat street food all the time, and I will tell you I've never gotten sick from street food. But the big plus about this place is that they have a live reef. See, I'm interested in the swimming aspect of the reef. So they have restaurants on this property, but then I'm going to show you by map where you can go to a breakfast buffet. It's a little bit more pricey, I'll tell you that right now. It's a little bit more pricey than than the Henan, but it's much. It's called the Bellevue Resort. So let's go to the So from this hotel, you can walk down the beach. It's about a 5-minute walk. Okay, I can't expand this anymore, so I'm going to have to go over here. It's about a 5-minute walk from the Modala Hotel to the Henan restaurant. Okay, now this is where the restaurants are, right here. This is where the Modala Hotel is. The Henan Resort is right over here, right here, where the arrow touches. The Modala and the Bellevue are right here, 17 and 22. I would say that's probably what they are on the map. Well, that's okay. So there's also a fishing sanctuary that you can walk around and see a fishing village from this hotel within a 5-minute walk. It's only a 5-minute walk. So where the hotel is now used to be a complete fishing village. This whole segment from here, all the way to the tip of the island was a fishing village. Thousands of people were located right on this shoreline right here. Thousands. In 2014, when I moved here, this was, I should have did a lot more videos than I did down here, but there were thousands of people living within 200 feet of the beach, because that's where the road starts, 200 feet away. And there were several hundred boats, fishing boats. Well, the Modala and 2 other resorts bought the land and relocated those people in here over here in this cove area here. So this fishing village, an entire 500 years of fishing villages were moved from here to over here on the in this cove here, and right along here. They don't have the same opportunities for fishing that they had over here, and that's why they chose this side of the island for 500 years. It was a fishing village. They moved the entire village over to this side of the island. And eventually they'll probably take that away from the people as well, unfortunately. So the Modala Hotel, let's go back to the Modala Hotel, is, I do know for a fact, because I made several videos there this week, and I was actually going to go back and do something for one of the security there. This place, the rooms start at 7,000 pesos. 7,000 pesos. And the rooms go up to 11,000 pesos. 11,000 pesos. So the Modala Beach Resort, I can show it to you if I do this. Hold on a minute. Let me, I'm going to open up a video and I will show you what the Modala, I have to, here is the Modala Resort. We're going to open up one of my, we're going to open that video up all the way on another page. Okay. So I'll show you the entrance to the Modala Resort from the beach. This is the beach side of the Modala Resort. Okay. Now, I'm flying a Mavic Air 2S drone on November 14th or 15th, and I'm going to fly over the middle of this resort because there's no people here. And I don't want to fly over the rooms or with, and all up here on the second floor, all up here are sun decks and vacation relaxation areas, all up on top. And now where I said that the new fishing village was located to, it's located now on the far side of this tree line, which is about 200 meters from the front entrance here of the hotel. So if you want to see what a real fishing village looks like, a Philippines fishing village, and you're on vacation, you can walk out this front entrance right here, walk across the street. All along this street here is stores where you can buy street food for $1 or $2 for breakfast or lunch. And the food is 100% edible and clean, and there's no problems with any kind of bacteria or anything like that. No one gets sick from the street food in the Philippines, although you hear stories like that. I've been eating street food for 8 years now, and I've never gotten sick once. Okay, so here is the fishing village right here. So you can see it's just 200 meters away. And now I'll take you up a little bit higher. And now I turn the drone around, and I'm going to show you the beach behind the Modala Hotel. Now, at the hotel, which I want to make note of, up here is a grass up here. Grass, real grass. And over here is a bar where you can sit up there and have drinks, I guess. And there's a whole entire little industry up here for foods and drinks. So, and then you look over at the ocean up here. And let's go up a little bit higher. Okay, let's open this up. Now we're looking at the white sand beach behind the Modala Hotel. And this is the reason why I would suggest over the Henan and over any other place in Bohol, in Panglao or Bohol. Although there's a beach called Dumaluman Beach, beautiful white sand beach, but there is no reef. It's just sand. And I call sand beaches boring beaches because from a diver or a snorkeler's perspective, it's just white dirt when you look down at the ground. But here, this is something else altogether. This, I'm going to show you right now what is blue water, and I'm going to show you what a reef looks like. This area here, the light green, from the shoreline here, at high tide, the water comes up to about halfway, almost up to this tree line. Maybe there's only 50 feet of beach here. But at low tide, it's a magnificent little white sand beach. But this is why I suggest this resort or the Bellevue over the Henan and Alona Beach. Alona Beach has a dead reef. The whole length of Alona Beach, from the chemicals from the hotels, from the suntan lotion, from the effluents that went into the water from all the hotels for all the years, the whole reef is dead. This reef, which starts right along here, which this is known as blue water. This is the ocean. This is 60 feet of water. This is 20 feet of water. And this is 8 feet of water. This reef from here all the way down for 1 kilometer to the right is a live coral reef with huge elkhorn coral and fan coral and fire coral, and it's just an amazingly pretty reef. I have many videos of this reef on my other channel. So this is why I say the Modala Hotel or the Bellevue over the Henan and Alona Beach, because this this has potential. Now, in addition, Alona Beach, I told you at the end of the beach, there used to be a rock cliff down towards this left, east, and west side. And now you can't go either way, east or west. Here, right here, this little area here, and over here, there's a path. And the path allows you to walk either from here to here, all the way around what we're going to show you now as what is known as the Dragon's Head. Okay? The path allows you to walk all the way around here, all the way around. No charge, no money. And what you're going to find in here, right in this area here, if you lived here and you had horses, in this area here and over here, there's two huge stables. Horses, they have, not for rent. You cannot rent a horse there, but you can own a horse and you can stable your horse in this area here. And you can also, you can ride your horse on the paths that are in this forest. You can also ride your horse along the beach. So if you are a nature lover and you love animals, you can, from the Modala Hotel, here's the backyard of the Modala Hotel, right here where the arrow is, you can just walk around into this nature reserve. This is a nature reserve park. The whole of this green area is a nature reserve. Although they're building condominiums here, these are $1 million, these are not million peso condominiums. These are going to be $1 million condominiums. So, but in this area, it doesn't change the fact there's probably about 30 horses stabled back in here. And then there's an island that's not, there's a small little island over here, but all in here is an ecosystem that's shallow water all the way out to here where you can walk around and see various fish and wildlife. Now, you're also going to see a coral rock jetty here, which is not high. It's only about 6 feet higher than the water. But if you want to jump off it or go in the water, this is beautiful because where the arrow is here along the horizon, this is known as, this over here is the Bohol Sea, and this over here is the CEBU Straits. Either way, this is the ocean right back here. And this water from the ocean flows this way. It flows across the Dragon Head, and it flows this way. And it gives this whole tip of the island clean water at all times on a high tide. It's pristine. You can see down in this area here 30 feet on a clear day with no wind. So you have an ecosystem over here where you can do, and the horse area is back over here. I'll show it to you. The horse area comes around over to here, and then you can also walk around over to here, and here is the fishing village that I spoke about. And there are hundreds of small pump boats in a fishing village. So if you're an eco, and this is where the great Alo de Winter comes in. Alo de Winter is an ecologist. I didn't know that. And he is going to be coming to Bohol, not this year, but next year, to view the ecosystem that I had a conversation with him about this morning. And also, he's very much, the great Alo de Winter is very much into aquatic life that grows in swamp-like areas. Now, we don't have swamps per se. We have marshes, M-A-R-S-H-E-S. But he does want to take a trip to Bantayan Island. He does want to take a trip to Bantayan Island to see the ecosystem of Bantayan Island, because unbeknownst to me, Aloe de Winter has a scientific degree in aquatic life culture. I forgot the name of his degree, but he specializes in swamp creatures that grow in the swamps, different various snakes, various types of frogs, various types of salamanders, he knows all about the names of the mosquitoes and pests that are in swamps. He's very, very articulate. He was talking to me this morning and going, wow, I know you now like every day for 8 months, and now I find this out. So Aloe de Winter is going to come here and choreograph this ecosystem in Bohol, and then if he has time next year, this is not now, it's next March. If he has time, him and I are going to go to Bantayan Island, because he said to me he wants somebody to go with him to do the ecosystem on Bantayan Island, which is his preference would be to go to Bantayan Island, because his studies are more aligned with swamps than marshes. And there's a difference between one and the other, but his preference is swamps over marshes. So the great Aloe de Winter and myself are going to tour this ecosystem, and then if he has time, we're going to go to Bantayan Island to tour the ecosystem in Bantayan Island. And far be it unbeknownst to him, he's going to pick up the tab as well, because it was his idea. When I invite you out to dinner, I pay. When you ask me to go to Bantayan Island, you pay. So Jack Thompson, I'm about to donate 1 million pesos to somebody, says Jack Thompson. Hey, Jack, that's great. That's good to hear. So let's go back up a little bit further. And now I'm going to show you a little bit more of the island that's immediately outside the front door of the Modala Hotel. This area here, this whole area here, let's go, I'll give you the name of this bay here. The name of that bay is the Bohol Sea. Where we're looking at on that video, this is the Bohol Sea, and this is the CEBU Straits. So this is the side of the island that the hotel is on, but when you come around past the point here, where the hotels are, then you're in the Bohol Sea. So let's go back to the video. Now you're looking at the Bohol Sea. So the Bohol Sea and this fishing village that's right here, right across the street from the Modala Hotel. You can walk from the Modala Hotel to the fishing village. It's not complicated. You just walk down the path to the beach. Then you can see real life Filipino fishing village from only 300 feet away from your hotel. And then you can see how the fishermen are always on the beach fixing their nets and repairing their boats and catching. They come home at 5 o'clock in the morning. If you have the want, will, or need to buy fish at sometime after 5:30 in the morning, you get here on this beach, and there are dozens of boats coming back from the fishing. They fish at night with fresh fish. So if you have if you live nearby and you want to get fresh fish, you sit on this beach, and each boat has a scale on the boat, and they sell you fish for from 160 to 250 pesos per kilo that you'll pay 300 to 600 pesos per kilo at the market. But here, the fish was caught an hour and a half before you buy the fish, or 3 hours. So let's go a little bit further. So right now, this is the Bohol Sea. And then all from here, all the way here, there's hundreds and hundreds of boats. hundreds and hundreds of little boats all up on the beach and tucked into these mangroves here like that. And then if you go a little bit further down the coast, right here, there's 100 plus what they call day boats, D-A-Y. D as in David, Delta Alpha Yankee, day boats. Delta Alpha Yankee, day boats. And where those day boats go are, it's a little, the viz is not so good, but the day boats go right over here, right here. The day boats go to this island out here, this little island, and past that. In this area here, there's probably 500 to 1,000 dolphins that feed at 7 o'clock in the morning. Between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning, between 500 and 1,000 dolphins feed in this area here. And you can take a day boat from here, or you can take a day boat from behind the St. Augustine Church. And that's between this island right here, less than a mile away, over to this area here, about a half a mile away. For some reason, that's where they feed every day for 1,000 years. That's where they've been. Now, you can go a little bit further on the day boat. It's part of the tour. And you're going to go to Virgin Island, which is right over here, just out of sight. And from Virgin Island, you're going to stay there for about an hour on the day boat. And then you're going to go to another island over here called Balakasog Island. So, and those tours are about $45 per person for a 6-hour tour, 5.5 to 6 hour tour. So let's go back up a little bit. Let me see the comments. This is real content, says Jack. So all of these places, I have been to dozens and dozens of times. Thank you very much, Scott. So Scott says, Michael Fazio, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the Philippines community, embedded, real world, no BS blogging genre. Here on his homestead, no cobras, no poison frogs, no, I can't see the end of that comment. Thanks, Scott. He never lied about his life. He doesn't lie. He's never going to lie. Real content. So, thank you, Scott. So this is where I live. Now, you have to also understand, I'm going to show you where I live because I bring the drone up to about 325 feet in a moment, and you're going to be able to see my backyard. So this area here is the fishing village. And then right over here, this white dot here, this little white dot that you can't hardly see, right above the arrow, that's the St. Augustine Church. These white little wafer-like things here, these are 100 or so pump boats from 35 to 50, 60 feet long. So there's 100 or so pump boats. You just go down this road here. You just walk out of the Modala Hotel. You get on a tricycle. And you just go down this road. And the road will take you straight in front of St. Augustine Church. It's not going to take you to a different place. It's going to take you right to St. Augustine Church right here. And then you get off at St. Augustine Church. And then you walk behind the church. And this is where the pump boats are that you can go. You get there at 5:30 in the morning. The boats start leaving at 6 o'clock. The dolphins are the first stop. You'll see 2 or 3. You will see 2 or 3 or 400 dolphins every time you go. You will not be disappointed. There will be dolphins at 6:30 in the morning every day, forever, from before and into eternity. Okay, so you just take this road. It will cost you, for 2 people, it will cost you $2 to go from the Modala Hotel to St. Augustine Church. It's $1 per person to the church. It takes about 6 minutes to get there, 7 minutes. Okay? So this area here that's immediately below my cursor is Barangay 5. It's all going to be in the description box at the end of the day. I'll show it to you now. It's in the description box of this video. I'll put this right there. I'll put the Modala Resort and phone number. Let me see. I'll just give you the whole thing. No, let's go back here. Close that out. I'm gonna give you the. I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna put it in the chat box. I think. Yeah, I think. Okay, so let's. Let me put it in the chat box. If you guys want to copy and paste it down into a file, this is my highest rating hotel that I will ever give anybody in the Philippines. I will never give anybody. It's a 5-star resort. So let's go back. Let's see the comments. Nope. Here on his homestead, no cobras, no poison frogs, and no irrational hate. Thanks, Scott. He never lied about his life. He doesn't lie. He's never going to lie. Real content from Michael Fazio. Thank you. Jack Thompson is bashing the place he's on. By the way, Jack Thompson is headed to Panglao Island. He heard some stories that he wants to go visit Panglao Island as well, but for different reasons. Scott says, I must admit I don't see any curve on the horizon. Because there is no curve on the horizon. The earth is flat. It always was flat. It's always going to be flat. Let's go back to the videotape here. Let's open this up. Now, we talked about St. Augustine Church. We talked about the pump boats over here. Immediately across the street from the St. Augustine Church is a 7-Eleven where you can buy loads and you can get Gcash and all of that stuff sorted out. And then that's the town of Poblacion. So let's go up higher. Let's go up a little bit higher. Now, I told you I was going to show you my house from in this video. Not this video. That must have been in, I must have clicked that by accidental. Let's go back over here. I must have pushed forward instead of going back to my house. So let's go back over here. Well, we should be right about here. Okay, so here is my house right here. Okay, so this white sand beach, even though you've heard stories that are conflicting to what I'm about to say, this white sand beach is not, at high tide, the beach comes up halfway to the shoreline. That's true. So there's not as much of a white sand beach here, but it's all white sugar sand. Because if you'll notice, there's one hotel over here. That's the Bellevue. These are private, and I mean very private, not just private, but these are probably $1 million condominiums right in here, this little enclave right here. And they are rentable. Some of them are rentable. I don't know if they, what the progress on that is. I do know that these little places right here, this little spot right here. I can tell you what the price of this piece of property was in 2016. Daisy and I came down here, and this used to be a horse stable right here. There used to be horses right here. So I know that that's in location. This property here was 8 million pesos. 8 million. 8 million. So it would have been about $200,000 for this, where this house is right here. That was 8 million pesos. It could be one lot over here, could be one lot further, but it was 8 million pesos in 2016 for this lot. And then I didn't have 8 million pesos, and I didn't know Daisy well enough to try to do something there. But about a year and a half later, it was 24 million pesos. So it was a $500,000 US dollars for an empty lot right here. $500,000. So when I say these bungalows here are $1 million houses, they're well over $1 million. It's not an exaggeration. The property in 2018 was more than $500,000. Now, I don't know what it is now. So, and that is, there was only one lot. It was a triangular lot. It was buildable, and it wasn't that big. It was like 50 by 60 by 45, and it was 8 million pesos. So this is the Bellevue Hotel right here. The Modala Hotel is at the base of where the cursor is, and my house is right here, right about here. And I live, if you want to see the distance that I live from the beach, I'll show you the beach right now. Let me read the comments. Okay, so I'll show you the beach right now, and then I'll show you the reef right now. So the reef is right on the far side of that yellow barge. If you look, there's a white line halfway up the roof. That's the edge of the reef. That's 300 feet from the barge. After that white line is deep water, ocean. Right now, the ocean has got about 2 to 3 to 4 foot waves. It's really windy out there. But there is a beach, small beach, albeit a beach, maybe 30 feet of sand, maybe 40 feet of sand, right where that barge is. So that's the beach. The beach that I'm going to show you now in the video is this beach right here. This beach. So you can't see my house per se, but my house would be right over here where the tip of that, and about 150 feet from the white sand. So you've heard stories that I live in a shack. Yes, I live in a shack. I do indeed live in a shack. But I also live on a white sand beach, and I can see the beach from my house, from where I'm sitting right now. So that is a big plus. Now, I'm going to show you how far it is to the city from the Modala. The jeepney actually stops right in front of the Modala. So if you wanted to go into the city from the Modala or the Bellevue Resort, you pay $1 per person. It goes past the front entrance of the Modala and the Bellevue every hour, from 6 o'clock, 6:20 in the morning till 8:20 at night. So for 14 hours a day, you can go to the city for $1 per person. It's a 55-minute ride. there and 55 minutes back. And from in the city, you can go to the ICM Mall or the BQ Mall. If you have banking needs, there's all the major banks are in the city. Hey, good morning, Michael Dowdy. Thanks for stopping by. And you have all your banking needs. Anything that you want to buy, that you think you want to buy, that you didn't bring to the Philippines, which to me, going on vacation and spending $200 a day for a hotel room and then going to the city to go shopping is not a very good use of your vacation time. And now I will tell you what there is not to do in the city. There is in the BQ Mall, there's a movie theater that plays about 5 different movies. That is something that you can do. And in the ICM Mall, there's a movie theater that plays about 5 different movies. Or you can go to the ICM Mall, and if you're going to be here for a week and you don't want to eat restaurant food, because you got to remember, you get breakfast at the Bellevue gives you a $24, 900 pesos. That's a $20 breakfast at the Bellevue is $20 now, 880 pesos plus 10% service charge. So it's about $22 for breakfast. So if you don't want to, you're going to get that for free at the Bellevue. And at the Modala, I think you get free breakfast. But if you don't want to pay $25 for dinner at the Bellevue for a buffet, or if you want to bring your own food, you can go to the ICM Mall or the BQ Mall and go. There's 2 huge grocery stores. Don't let anybody tell you one is better than the other, because they're both owned by the same corporation at the end of the day. The price of everything in each mall is within 1 cent of everything in the other mall. There's no savings to go to one mall or the other. None. The grocery store prices for every item in the entire grocery, and it's a little known fact that the Philippines has what's called a no competition law, which means whoever is selling on a wholesale level or grocery store level any product in the store, oranges, potato chips, or meat, if one store, for whatever reason, no matter justified or not, if one store raises their prices in BQ, let's say BQ raises their prices, automatically the law requires ICM to match that price, penny for penny. So this is what happened 8 years ago. The ICM Mall was a beautiful grocery store. This is a sidetracking a little bit. Had a beautiful there was nothing wrong with the ICM Mall, nothing at all. It was a beautiful, clean grocery store with high-end refrigerators and everything. But they decided to renovate, put new, and the shelving, none of the shelving was rusty, nothing was old, no tiles were broke, the floors were beautiful. They decided to renovate, and they renovated probably for good reason. They put security cameras and more high-tech cash registers and new shelving. So they spent 2 years renovating their store. And when they were done, from 2014 to 2016, prices went up 15 to 25% on every single item. But it all happened in one day. So when they were done renovating, when they turned the light, the store stayed open, But when they were done renovating and they put all the cash registers in and all the cameras were working and all the new shelving was in place, let's say that was January 1st of 2016. They raised every price in the store 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, up to 25% increase on every single item in the store. And they just spent hundreds of millions of pesos renovating the store. But BQ did not renovate their store. They didn't spend $1 on new shelves. They didn't spend a peso on lighting or cash registers. So their prices that same day, the next day, within a week, their prices matched the ICM prices, 10 to 25% increase, because the no competition law says that if one major chain raises the price on an island, the other same like businesses have to raise their price. Now, not only when they raise their prices 25%, let's say the price of an apple was 7 pesos. And when ICM was done, they raised it 30% to 10 pesos. Every vendor in the entire Bohol area had to raise the price of an apple to 10 pesos because they have to pay more. Whether they buy the vegetables from ICM, that they don't. But every vendor had to raise their prices to match ICM. So if that wasn't absurd enough, if that wasn't insanity enough, that the prices went 10 to 25% more, in 2016, BQ started renovating their store. And in 2017, BQ's store was renovated and they raised their prices between 10 and 14%. So, therefore, by law, ICM had to raise their prices between 10 and 14%, and all street vendors for fruits and vegetables had to raise their prices to match BQ's prices. So theoretically, prices went up from 2014 to 2017, 30 and 40%, simply because two competing stores rebuilt their stores at different times. One raised it 10 to 25%. The other one, they were done. The other one renovated their store and raised it 10 to 15%. Prices went up 40% for no other reason than the two stores renovated their stores, and there was nothing wrong with the stores, the shelving, the cash registers, or, in my opinion, the security cameras. They all had security cameras. So why that happened, I don't. How it happened, that's the law in the Philippines. So I will go over here and read the comments now, and then we're going to go back to. Let's see. Let's read the comments here. How do we get to the comments? Okay. See a lot of comments here. Scott, I never lied about my life, and he's never gonna lie. No, all the stuff I tell people, it's all true. But whether you believe it or not, that's your prerogative. Okay, so we have whether they believe it. I know Scott believes it. Michael Dowdy is here. Thanks for stopping by, Michael. Michael's shirt is the color of God. He is beginning to transcend human thought patterns via his enlightenment and may transition into a godlike entity soon. Hold on a minute. don't know what the heck is going on out there. I think they're working out there. Hold on. What? What's up? I'll see you later. I'll see you at 5 o'clock. Okay, 5 o'clock. Okay? Yes, afternoon, okay? Okay, honey. Okay. Okay, sweetheart. You have a nice morning. See you in a little while. Okay. I thought they were doing construction outside. One of my neighbors stopped to say hello. What do you want? What's up? Okay, so all it took was Michael to paint stuff yellow, and Jack and I became friends. But we're not so much friends anymore now that I found out that Jack has a leg fetish. Okay, so we have Scott. Soon they will be selling laboratory-grown Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab censored meat like protein substance. That's probably true. That's probably true. I was looking. That's strange that you should say that. There was a chart. I looked at it a while ago. It rated cereal, Frosted Flakes or Frosted Wheaties, out of, I think it was out of 100 products, which is the healthiest food to eat, right? So Kellogg's Frosted Wheaties were 87, close to 100, as close to being one of the most healthiest foods to eat. Frosted Wheaties. Frosted Wheaties. Can you believe that? And you know where pork and ground beef and meat was? It was down, number 87 being high, and pork and meat, cow, beef and pork and chicken were down around 17, 18, 19, and 20 as the lowest end of the scale as far as being healthy for you. So sugar and white flour with some sort of glue to hold it all together was more healthy than eating pork or beef, according to FDA. So I didn't pay any attention to it. I should have left it up on the board. Yesterday and I don't like Joe Rogan. He's definitely, no doubt that in my mind that Joe Rogan is an absolute 100% gatekeeper for the powers that be. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Joe Rogan still believes that we went to the moon. He can't say for sure whether or not the earth is round, but he will say it's not flat. Joe Rogan is a gatekeeper. In case anybody doesn't understand this, he is. In fact, he had a commentary this morning about the guy who bankrupted the cryptocurrency. I forgot the guy's name, Jewish fella, and his girlfriend. They live in the Bahamas. He refused to voice an opinion when his guest said that this. I watched. I'll give you the link. I sent it out to Scott this morning. Well, I watched the video this morning, 45 minutes, on that cryptocurrency and how they bankrupted 130 firms are supposed to have been bankrupted. I'm not sure how many it was. 130 companies were involved with this. So Joe Rogan had a guest on that knew all about. Now I don't care one way or the other. I don't own any Bitcoin. I don't even know what a Bitcoin was until recently. But the I'm getting to it now. I got to go to my sent mail. Okay, so I'm going to give you the link to this. Joe to prove that Joe Rogan is in fact he's 100% a gatekeeper for the government. I mean, and also he's afraid of the powers that be beyond being afraid of the powers that be. Beyond that, he's scared to death because he's such a wealthy man. He's not going to jeopardize his YouTube channel, which would disappear in a minute if he told the truth, and he knows that. And he's not going to jeopardize that. He's just not going to jeopardize all of that. So let's get the name of the name of this article I'm going to post is the FTX. That's not it. Darn it. Okay, the FTX is deeper than you think. And I'll tell you why Joe Rogan is a gatekeeper. 100% proven. There's no doubt that in my mind, because he believes that we went to the moon, and he believes that the earth is round. That's ridiculous. Round being a ball, the ball. The earth is flat. He knows that, but he won't say it. So I'll give you the name of this article, but to prove that Joe Rogan is a gatekeeper and scared to death to go against what somebody in one of their one commentary, there was a commentary on this article about a guy who called this theft of $25 billion is the total now. This I don't even know. Frank Tango X-ray. Frank Tango X-ray. Foxtrot Tango X-ray. Joe Rogan was afraid to say what he thinks, where he thinks the guy behind $25 billion of missing money should be. Now, the guy on his show, and the guy on Joe, now this is not the Joe Rogan link, because I don't know where that is, but that's the scandal. So the guy on Joe Rogan's show, I'm going to get to your comments in a minute. The guy on Joe Rogan's show said, do you believe this guy stole? This all happened in the last 9 days. This isn't something that happened years ago. Yes, they went bankrupt. But the guy behind it, the Jewish fellow, I forgot his name. It's in the video. And him and his Jewish girlfriend was the head of the company. I forgot the name. Joe Rogan was afraid to say what he thinks should be happening with the guy. The guy's in the Bahamas. I know where he's living because I was there. I didn't go to his condominium, but I walked around what is called Atlantis Hotel. And when I took my mom there in 2001, and you could walk around the grounds and outside the grounds, and from our hotel room, we could see condominiums being built behind the Atlantis Hotel. Well, apparently this guy has a $30 million duplex or triplex or condominium. So the fellow that was on Joe Rogan's show, John Ray, okay? And John Ray, I don't remember the names. I just remember some of the details. Thank you for that, Mosey. Thank you. Mozzie, thank you. The fellow on Joe Rogan's show said this guy should be locked up. And Joe Rogan said, well, that's the way they do things in the Bahamas. Wait a second. Let's just put a time out here. I dare anybody that ever watches any of my videos, or anybody that lives in the Philippines, or anybody anywhere where there's normalcy in life, and go in and just walk into, I don't know, a computer store, cut the cable on a $1,000 computer and walk out of the store. You're going to get arrested for $1,000. Probably get arrested for $100. Certainly in the Philippines, you would get arrested for stealing $10 worth of stuff. This guy outright disappeared $15 billion. And then another $500 million just disappeared with no, and only he had the back door to the cryptocurrency where it was stored. So he definitely stole $600 million. They can prove that. And he's walking around free. And Joe Rogan says, well, the laws in the Bahamas are different. What are we talking about here? We're not talking about somebody who went in and walked out on the price of a dinner meal. We're talking about a guy that stole $15 billion, that bankrupted 130 companies so far. $10 more billion is missing that they can't figure out. And even $100 million for the Board of Education for a teachers' union fund disappeared. It's gone. There's nothing left. $100 million. And he's not in jail. So Joe Rogan is afraid, or he's a gatekeeper. But he also thinks that the earth is a ball, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd to believe the earth is a ball. Nothing about the measurements, the speeds, the distances that they give you. If the earth is spinning around at 1,000 miles per hour around, and a plane took off, that nonsense that the atmosphere follows the earth, that's why there's no wind at 1,000 miles. That's ridiculous. But even if that was true, if the wind followed the earth, and here's the ball, and the wind follows the earth, and the earth is going this way. A plane takes off and wants to go that way. The plane has to go 1,000 miles an hour just to stay in place. But it doesn't do that. So if the plane wants to go this way, it has to go 1,000 miles an hour just to break even. Plus, it has to go faster. Well, planes don't go 1,000 miles. But if it's going this way, whoa, it automatically starts off at 1,000 miles an hour. The whole thing is absurd. The earth is flat and stationary. It does not move. It doesn't spin. And there's no Coriolis effect on the rotation, supposed rotation of the earth. Anyway, and he knows that. And there's also proof that we never went to the moon. Ever. We never went to the moon. Never did we go to the moon with men in spaceships. And we certainly didn't land on the moon in a rover made out of gold foil and aluminum ski poles. But anyway, let's go back over here. Let's see. Okay, Christopher. I'm an idiot. That's not how it works. All right. Well, that's not how what works. All right. We have to get rid of this sex site here. Okay. So we got rid of the sex site. Jack is the gatekeeper. Be careful. We will. Okay. So, Christopher, what is it that you want to say? Chris from Manchester. You know, Chris, I'm going to show his comment, all right? Because he's It's not that bad. His comment is not that ridiculously. Okay, you're an idiot. That's not how. Okay, so let's let Chris. Let's let Chris speak. Chris, what is it? What is it? Is that it's not how it works? What is it that it's not how it works? You can explain that without cursing, and then it won't get hidden again. So let's let Chris talk. So go ahead, explain it. Dude, if you were to watch, and I'm not pushing Eric Dubai's channel, but if you had any intelligence at all, let's say your IQ, Chris from Manchester, let's say you had a high IQ, which you don't. Well, because he believes that the earth, he's been brainwashed to be. And listen, we all started out in life thinking the earth was a globe. We all did. Some of us that are more intelligent and have done the research, not necessarily more intelligent, but have done the research to find out for ourselves whether or not the earth is a ball spinning through space. Once I did I never believed that the earth was flat. I thought that was the most ridiculous thing in the world. I did. So then my friend Manny Skywatch said the earth was flat. I couldn't believe him. There's a fella. See, but you can't prove the earth is round, Chris. Okay, so there's a fella out there named Eric Dubay. Now, I'm not pushing Eric Dubay, but there are thousands of people, scientists, that have done scientific experiment after scientific experiment since the beginning of recorded history, going back pre-Egyptian, Inca, Mayans, cultures, the Arabic culture, the Judaic philosophers, they all knew the earth was flat. So, but there are experiments that prove the earth is flat. So I refused to believe it. But then I watched his 200 proofs the earth is not a spinning ball. I'll write it down. I'm not gonna hold back on here. I don't care what you think, Chris. You don't super chat my channel. You don't pay me anything in PayPal. I'm not afraid to hurt your feelings. If your IQ has not allowed you to grow past your ignorance, that's your problem. But 200 proofs the earth is not a spinning ball. Okay, so you go here by Eric Dubay. Now he didn't make these 200 proofs. He didn't make any of them, none of them. So don't say to me, Eric Dubay he did not make the proofs. He posted and published through research 200 proofs that the earth is not a spinning ball. And where did he get those proofs from? He got those proofs from scientific experiments that have been held in this world going back thousands of years, and scientific knowledge that goes back thousands. So I said, that's insane. The earth is not round, flat. That's crazy. Then I refused to believe it. Like Chris, he refuses to believe it. But I'm also very intelligent, way more intelligent than the average person. And I went to school to learn how to learn, aviation high school. I have a college regents diploma, which is completely different than a high school diploma. I have an A&P jet mechanics license. I learned how to fly a plane. I learned how to captain a 10-passenger. I have a 10-passenger, 6-passenger license, okay? I learned how to captain boats, but I worked on boats my whole life. So from my knowledge of avionics and navigation, in those 200 proofs, it talks about how gyroscopes work. Well, I know how gyroscopes work. They work, you spin them up in whatever direction they're in. If you spin up a gyroscope horizontal to where you're standing and you shoot it off in a direction, and the earth was round, it would start here and then it would go right off into space. If you were in a submarine 100 feet deep and you spun up the gyroscope, and the gyroscope would bring the submarine straight and level right off into space. There would not be a deviation in the gyroscope's direction because of the supposed curvature of the earth. They're above the ground in an airplane. You take off. Your elevation can go up and down, but the gyroscope does not change to compensate for the curvature of the earth. So in an airplane, if you were flying at 600 miles an hour, 550 miles an hour, every half hour, if the earth was round, you would have to dip the nose of the aircraft down to follow the horizon several miles. Otherwise, in an hour, you would be into space. That's true. That's how it works, Chris. That's a fact. Gyroscopes don't compensate for the curvature of the earth. And when you spin up a gyroscope in a plane or a submarine or a helicopter, it flies straight and level. The attitude remains the same. It doesn't change because the Earth's surface. You can fly into a mountain or you can fly off into the space, but the attitude of the gyroscope doesn't change because there's a mountain in front of you, nor does it change if the Earth's curvature goes down because there is no curvature. So if you don't understand that, that's not my problem. My problem is with people like you telling me I'm wrong, but I'm right. But then there are thousands of other experiments. I need to put you guys on hold, mute. John? Okay, I had a call coming in. I've seen many experiments. I've spoken with many commercial airline pilots as when I was at the airport. Many people, people that navigate, they do not allow for any curvature of the earth. When the Suez Canal was made, they put a datum line 25 feet down from the ocean's mean low water mark, and they cut a swath 102 miles long at sea level, and when they met the other ocean on the other side of the Suez Canal, all the oceans are the same height. Now, some of them vary, but those two oceans were the same height. Some of them vary because of the tides, but theoretically they're both the same height. So you're not going to make, no way will I. Now, when I went through the 200 proofs in the beginning, I said, "Now the Earth is round, 100%," but it's not. It's just not that complicated. Do the experiments. A laser beam that the U.S. government, the United States government, in the 90s, they don't put this up anymore. They had a laser beam. It was not for destructive purposes necessarily, but it could be used for destructive purposes. But they used it to see how, they experimented with to see how far it would shoot, and you'd be able to see the laser beam at the end of the, how far it would go before it got dispersed. So at 93 miles away from the ship, the laser was on, 93 miles away. They have a ship here, and then there was a ship on the ocean 93 miles away on the ocean, and they shot the laser beam at whatever height above the ocean that it was, and the ship that was 93 miles away received the signal or saw the laser beam at the same height that it was shot from the first ship. So let's say it was shot, the laser was on top of a ship that was 45 feet off the water, and they shot it across the ocean 93 miles. It hit the other ship at 45 feet above the waterline. Well, if the Earth was curved, it should have been, the ship should have been half a mile to a mile down over the horizon. Lasers don't follow the curvature of the Earth. Light doesn't bend per se. They say it does, and there's experiments that it'll bend slightly, but it doesn't bend because of the ocean surface, that's for sure. It might bend around a massive dark star, if they could even prove those exist, but it doesn't bend over the surface of the ocean a mile. So if you read Eric Dubai's, if you listen to his audiobook or read his book, it's free online. If you follow through with the experiments from the scientists that did the experiments, when you're done, pick out the ones that you think you can research or that you think you could prove wrong, and you're not going to be able to prove any of them wrong. The Earth is not a bowl. They know this. The pilots know it. Seafaring captains know it. The ones that cross oceans, Pacific, and they all know this. People that build railroads know it. People that build airplanes do it. The gyroscopes are in the aircraft, not to follow the curvature of the Earth, but just to tell you how that your aircraft is flying straight and level. Your attitude remains horizontal to the starting point, not horizontal to the curvature of the Earth. But if you people don't understand this, you think I'm going to be able to explain aircraft nomenclature and how the functionalities of the instruments work, aircraft instrumentation? I can't. I could, but I can't. First of all, you're unwilling to listen because it's just Michael Fazio talking. And second of all, most of you are not smart enough to understand that what I just gave you to listen to is factual. You'll say that 200 people, 200 proofs, 200 people were somehow bribed to say what they said. These experiments go back 200, 300, 400 years old. They knew the Earth was flat since the beginning of recorded history. So you people that think the Earth is round, well, I just gave you proof it's not. Now, it's not proof per se. You have to do your own due diligence. Go look it up. But you're not going to prove anything in his book wrong. It's just not going to happen. I tried, and I couldn't. And then I realized that, yeah, okay, the Earth is flat. Not a big deal. Unless you want to go into the philosophical reason why they say the Earth is flat. That's something else altogether. But the fact is that the Earth is flat. Now I got to go back over to my notes. Over to my right here. Okay, no more comments. Okay, you guys are having a private conversation. That's cool. Okay, so that's so if you go to this fella Eric Dubai's Flat Earth, he does Flat Earth videos, but he also does videos on the Masons. Oh, I suppose Chris, what's his name here? Chris from Manchester. I suppose you know about the Masons too, right? I suppose you're a Mason. Is that true, Chris? Are you a Mason? So, I am. But, and once you learn about the secrets of Masonry, you realize that it's just not something that most humane people want to get involved with. The Brotherhood of Masonry, I don't know. I'm obliged to not say anything negative about it, but I was a Mason. Well, I guess I still am according to their rules, but I quit. Okay? Because of the absurdity of some of the stuff that goes on. And I'll give you a for instance. First of all, it usurps all of your free time if you allow it. So, second of all, they have a meeting, then they have Sunday barbecues, and then they have get-togethers, and they have dances, and who has time for all of that? Who wants people that have nothing to do, that are retired, make great Masons? But people that have a business and a life, not so much. I couldn't. Oh, you're going to come to the party on Sunday? No, I have something to do. I have to work. Oh, you're a brother now. Let's get with the program. Basically, it's a big fraternity. It's a club. They all want you to participate. They all want to feel special. I don't have time to be a Mason, let alone the money that's required. They have, you'll go to a barbecue and it might be $20 per person for a hamburger, French fries, and all you can drink. Well, I don't drink. So it didn't interest me to be around people that drink alcohol. It doesn't interest me to be around people that drink alcohol in real life, in a club. I can drink alcohol or be with people that drink alcohol in a private house where I know everybody. But to not know people, for instance, I bought a brand new, at the time I had a 500 Mustang. I forgot what the name of the Mustang. It was a fast car, very fast car. Did the quarter mile in some stupid time, 12.5 seconds. And I blew up the motor a couple of weeks after I bought the car. But it was a fast car. But it was in beautiful shape. And I parked it in the parking lot of the lodge. And I got out, and some drunk Mason came flying into the parking lot. There was 100 feet between me and the lodge, and there was 50 feet on the other side between the next car. He comes flying into the parking lot. He parks 30 inches away from my car, and he opens up the door like he was trying to get out from, in a hurry. And he smashes my door with his car door. And I said, "What the hell are you doing?" I was standing 15 feet away. It's just a little dent. So I went in, because, you're not supposed to argue with your brother Masons. I went in and complained to the, whatever they call him, I forget, the head guy, the head Mason. And he's going, "Well, you two guys are brothers. You could work it out." I said, "Work it out?" He's denying that anything is wrong. He's just saying it's not a big deal. And he doesn't want to pay me to have it fixed. "Well, you guys are..." I said, "You know what? I've had enough of this brotherhood stuff. I quit." And I quit. I quit for other reasons, but I quit basically because he was a long-standing good member. He was drunk. He got out of the car and smashed my door, put a dent in it, probably 4.5 inches high and 3/8 of an inch deep. that's not the point. He wasn't willing to give me any money to have it fixed, to have the dent removed, whatever needed to be done. I'm not going to, just a little dent. I quit because it's a stupid thing to belong to, in my opinion. That was, and they're all, okay, so that man, a few weeks before we had a barbecue. This is what I mean. This is about the Masons. We had a barbecue. It was $20 per person. That week we had steak. Okay. And corn. I remember that. And they cooked the corn in a galvanized garbage pail. Galvanized. And the corn tasted like galvanized metal. If that wasn't bad enough, the guy who was cooking, Joe, the guy who was cooking the steaks, instead of cooking the steaks and handing them out as they were being cooked, and there was 60, 70 people at the barbecue, he decided that he wasn't going to hand out any food at all to anybody until all the steaks were cooked. And then he overcooked every steak because that's how he liked his meat. So here I have an overcooked steak for myself and the lady I was with. I forget her name. She was the Grand Master's daughter. I forget her name, though. So we had corn on the cob that tasted like galvanized metal, which we didn't eat, and steaks that were overcooked to the point of not being able to eat them. And that was $40. And that included drinks, but we neither one of us drank alcohol, not even one drop. So that was the absurdity of being a brother Mason, the absurdity of everybody being around you that's drunk, and their education level was no different than the average person. They were just Masons. I quit. I will never have anything to do with them again, ever. But Masons, they all stick together. The government, they all stick together. Politicians, they all stick together. And if they go, and like I went against YouTube's rules, I did political videos against Obama. Now my videos get 200 views, if I'm lucky, because of my political views against the powers that be. So what happened with 19,500 subscribers on my other channel? They just shut off the notification bell. So if I post a video on Hoodwinked, I might get 85 or 60 views. If I post a video on this page, I might get 85 views in a month, and then that's it. It's gone. It's over. And you people, you want to come here and break my chops? You don't super chat. This guy, Chris, he's not a super chat. He's not a member of my Patreon page, and he doesn't have to be. He's welcome to comment as long as his comments are, not hateful. His comment, he got blocked. His comment wasn't hateful. But as long as you don't do that, you're welcome to comment. But you want to come on and disturb my, not him, not Chris, come on and disturb my, if you want to have a dialogue, we can do that. But if you want to come on and just troll me, you can't do that. So he wants to have a dialogue, so I let him have a dialogue. Now, I gave him the information that he needs to do the research that he can do. And if Chris, what's his name? If Chris does the research, Chris from Manchester. See, he's not talking anymore. I'm beyond help. So if Chris from Manchester wants to prove me wrong, the information I gave him, he can do the research. And you know what's going to happen if Chris from Manchester does the research on that 200 proofs the earth is not a spinning ball? It took me, it's a 6 hour, to read the book took about 6 hours. Now I lost the signal again. To read the book took 6 hours. To listen to the the audio file of the book takes about 2 hours. I'm looking at my modem. To do the research of the 200 proofs, it's all on the internet. Everything he says is on the internet. Every word, every experiment, every scientist, every engineer, every pilot, everybody that's on that book, in that book, is, you can research it. And every experiment, the way he explains it, that proves the earth is flat, is still on the internet. So if Chris from Manchester wants to do the research, let's say he has a little bit of free time every day and it takes him 2 weeks to go through the book and to pick out the proofs that he wants to disprove, Chris from Manchester will come back 2 weeks from now and say, you know what, the earth is flat. Everybody that's ever done the research, everybody I ever recommended the books to, say, go, don't believe me, here's the experiment. Then some people come back and say, oh, that's all modified word. No, those books and the internet articles are PDFs. A lot of them are PDF files. They're not, you can't change them. But anyway, if Chris from Manchester did the research, he'd come back and say the earth is flat. It would be no doubt about that. But if he wants to show how intelligent he is, let him go do some research. The earth is flat. Everybody knows this. Okay, so that's it then. There's no more comments. I'm done. A good friend of mine called. One of my neighbors invited me out for foods, but I won't go for lunch. I'll go at 5 o'clock, and that's it. We're done. Thanks for stopping by, Jack, Chris from Manchester, Mozzie, Scott, Michael Dowdy, and anybody else who stopped by. Thanks for stopping by. I wish it was sunny. I was gonna do a drone video. I'm gonna bring it up 1 mile, and I'm gonna show you that the Bohol, on a no wind day, and I'm gonna show you with my drone, this drone right here. I have the batteries all charged up right here. This battery, I fully charged it last night. I want to bring it up 1 mile high. This drone, believe it or not, now I had trouble believing it, this Mavic Air 2S drone, this drone will fly straight up 9,000, not I would never fly it up that far, but another guy flew this drone 9,000 feet straight up. It's on the internet somewhere. It's on one of my playlists. 9,000 feet, a mile and 3/4, 1 3/4 miles straight up. I will fly it up 4,000 or 5,000 feet. But a guy flew the drone. Now, he didn't do it to prove the earth was flat. He just was testing how far up the drone would go. But I think I'll bring it up a mile, and then I'll take a picture of the data on the screen to show you that it went up 5,280 feet. So that's it. We're done. So I'm going to put this over here. But not today, though. It's raining and it's windy. Let me refresh the page. Maybe I'm not seeing comments because the page needed to be refreshed. I'm getting all kinds of messages here. I hear there's a big doings in mobile. Maybe that might be what the big doings were. I'm getting messages. I'm getting messages. Hold on a minute. Oh yeah. Okay, so here I'm right. Okay, I refreshed the page. Okay, so let's go back over to here. If they gave me a chance to go up in space, I would get right on an exercise program. Scott Del Fuego. Yeah, and that's the problem. with people. Look at my face. Look at my face. I said anybody that believes the earth is flat is crazy. I said that. I refused for probably 2 years. I refused for 2 years to look or listen to Eric DeBay's video. But this is going back a long time. This is going back to 2000 and it was before I met Daisy. So going back to 14 or 15, 2004, 14 or 15, I refused. I said, you are insane. I'm not going to watch any flat earth videos. And then I watched one flat earth video. And then I did each thing they spoke about in the flat earth video. I don't remember what video it was, but each experiment that they talked about, I opened up a tab on the computer and went and looked at what was on that experiment. But then I remembered about the gyroscopes from my pilot training and also my captain's license, because you have to learn how to navigate and you have to learn how to use a sextant and you'll have to learn how to plot a course, okay, with arcs and minutes and seconds and all that other good stuff. And that brought back all my training, because my training to be a captain legally by the Coast Guard took place in 1999 or 2000, probably the winter of 99 and 2000. But I always ran a boat. And I always understood navigation because my dad was a master captain and he showed me how to chart and plot a course when I was a little kid. He was a tugboat captain. So I always understood navigation, buoys and charts, and how to read the legend at the bottom of a map. But I actually got the license. I took the course, I think, in 99 to 2000, and I was one out of 23 students. 3 of us passed the course the first time around. Plotting, navigation, sextant, all that stuff. So, but my point is, there's a lot of training to be even a 6-pack or 12-pack captain. My training made me understand the stuff that's in the video of proof that it's a flat earth. You don't, nowhere ever did we ever learn to add miles for the curvature of the earth. And that's one of the components in the video that says no engineer adds miles for the curvature of the earth for a railroad. No airline adds fuel to cover the arc of the earth for the extra, because theoretically, if you were going 2,000, 4,000 miles from one place to another, you'd start down here, you'd have to climb, besides the 33,000 feet, you'd have to climb several miles, and there'd be a hump in the middle, and then go down. Nobody compensates for fuel or distance in railroads or flight or circumnavigation of the globe of the flat earth with a ship. Nobody compensates even 1 gallon of fuel or 1 yard, 1 meter of railroad track. It just doesn't happen. Engineers will say, no, we don't compensate for the curvature of the earth because there is none. Maybe they won't say there is none. Some of them will. But they'll just say, we don't compensate for the curvature of the earth because there is none. That's the truth. So let me go over here. Scott Del Fuego says, Michael Fazio may or may not have qualified and entered into ancient or Masonic order of the Scarlet Cord. No, I never got that high. He is quite proficient in many areas of knowledge. Don't underestimate his worldliness. To become a master Mason in, there's 2, the York Rite or the other rite. There's two paths you can go up to become a 33rd degree Mason to do that. York and the other guy, forget the other guy, and Dowie, not Dowie, whatever it is, nonsense. York and the other nonsensical to learn the great secret. They want you to spend years and years of study and practice. And Michael Fazio, I was the one who taught hand signals and the book, the little blue book with all the hand signals and under low breath, ULB, under low breath. So I was the one who taught the newer Masons that were coming into the club, into the Order of Masonry. I actually taught the new students hand signals, foot signals, how to place the foot, how to do what they call the lion's grip, and how to present yourself if you were in a courtroom and the judge was a Mason, and you could send the judge signals and hand signals, and the judge would know you were a Mason. Somehow that's going to help you. I was the one who taught that crap. I don't remember most of it, but I remember some of it. But I do know when somebody's given somebody certain hand signals, but there are hundreds of them. And each level up or down you go, up the trail and down the trail of Masonry, there are more signals and more words and more knowledge. It's basically to keep you busy thinking about nonsensical stuff for the next 5 or 6 years so that you can learn the great secret, whatever that is. I think the great secret is that the earth is flat and that there's another civilization of people living on the other side of the ice wall. But I don't know, because they never told me what the great secret is. But that's a secret that they keep secret. So that might be the great secret, if you understand what I'm talking about. That could be the great secret. I'm not sure. I don't know what other great secret there could be. Scott Del Fuego says, you are on again. Oh, thank you, Scott. Mozzie, if they gave you a chance to go out of space to see if the earth is flat or round, of course I would do it. Of course. Why wouldn't anybody? Scottish Rite. Thanks. Scottish Rite or York Rite. I was ready for that stage too. They were prepping me, and the funny thing in the lodge, you had Scottish Rite people and you had York Rite people, and they would both you'd have dinner at the lodge when you went for your meeting. Well, not dinner, but we had snacks, and the women, the Eastern Stars. The Eastern Stars were not allowed in the Great Lodge. Women were not allowed in the Great, not then, not in 2001. But the women would be with the Eastern Stars, and the men would be in the lodge. And at the door, we rotated who was going to be the gatekeeper. So I was a gatekeeper at the lodge. So what you do is you stand outside the lodge door with a wooden sword with another guard. One guy stood on one side of the doors and the other guy sat on the other side of the doors, and you just stood there. It was the dumbest thing I ever did in my life. So, and I'm going, are you serious? Yes, we're protecting the lodge. I'm going, protecting it from what? And it's part of the culture. I'm going, this is the dumbest thing I ever did in my life. I'm standing outside the door with a wooden sword, waiting for what? An attack? What am I waiting for? You're on guard. What if the women came upstairs and they tried to get into the Grand Lodge? I'm going, oh yeah, that would be terrible. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? That the women went in. See, women weren't allowed. The Eastern Stars, they could have dinner with us and snacks after the meeting, but they weren't allowed. I don't know if there's women Masons now. I have no idea. I don't know. They have so many dumb things that they do. The women, the Eastern Stars. What was that lady's name I dated? I forget her. She was a sweetheart. Her father was the grandest of masters in Florida. Big. And he was also some kind of judge, I think. I don't remember what he was. He was super powerful. Oh, Sharon, Chiron. I used to call her Chiron. Chiron, her name was, Sharon. And what a wonderful lady. We were both about the same age, in our 40s. And she was just a cool lady. And if she would have wanted to have kids, if she could have had kids, I probably would still be with her today. She was just a sweet lady. Plus, when we went out on the boat, she'd help clean the boat, she'd help prepare the boat, she'd help clean the boat at the end of the day. She'd wake up early in the morning and make breakfast, or she'd wake up early in the morning and go out and clean the car, wash the car. She was an Eastern Star. But she also said that this is a bunch of nonsense, because she grew up with her father being the grand hoo-ha of masonry. And I forgot his, I don't remember their last name. I don't even know if I ever knew her last name. Anyway, Sharon was a sweetheart. I actually, if I told you the ridiculous thing that broke us up, it was something silly. It was the dumbest thing. I had a beautiful house on the water, on a deep water canal. And I put a dish towel on the stove, on the handle of the stove. And the dish towel disappeared. And it's freaking, 50-cent dish towel. Do you know where the dish towel is? No. Then the sponge was missing. The sponge was missing. What's going on? The sponge is missing. Then I put a hat on a chair, and then on the kitchen chair, and then the hat was missing. You wouldn't just go missing. It'd be like overnight. Do you know where my hat is? No. And this went on for a long time. So I said to her, "What are you doing with my stuff?" She was rich. Sharon was rich. She was not a wealthy woman. She was married to some. His name. He was a famous lawyer in South Florida, in Miami. She was married to this guy for 30 years. Not 30, well, she might have been 47. She might have been married to him for 30 years, because she had children that were 30 years old, 29 years old. So she was married to him for most of her life. And when he left, he gave her the house. It was worth over $1.5 million. It was up in Fort Lauderdale. So anyway, I said to her, What are you doing with my stuff? Are you gaslighting me? She goes, "No, it wasn't me." And I'm going, "Well, where did it go?" She goes, "Well, where do you think it went?" I'm saying, "I don't know where it went. It's not here." The sponge, it's just 20-cent sponge, 50-cent dish towel, a pair of glasses, a hat. Where did it go? So she's going, "Well, if you're accusing me of stealing, I'm not accusing you of stealing from me, but where is this stuff going?" She got mad. We had an argument about that, and she left. She just walked out. She just didn't have no bad screaming or cursing or anything like that. She says, "That's enough of this. You keep asking me where your stuff went. You don't trust me." I'm going, "Well, where did it go?" No one knew where it went. The stuff was just disappearing. Turned out, I found out later on where it was going, but it wasn't her. And it was the funniest thing, because when I found all that stuff, I'm going, "Wow, Chiron, she's gone." I called her up. She goes, "I don't want to talk about it. I told you it wasn't me." And I'm going, "Okay." So anyway, I'm not going to tell you where it went. I'll leave that for another day. Grand and glorious order of the Knights of the Creeping Serpent. and they have a symbol of a cobra, says Scott. I don't know. I don't remember all that crap. It's all nonsense. So I'm going to go. Scott, if you want to say hello, if you're going to be awake, I'll call you in a few minutes. But other than that, I do have to go. I want to go see my neighbors has a party, and I don't know what kind of party it's for. I have no idea, but they want me to go. I can hear them out there. But all right, so let's say good night to everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Bing Permy, which of course means take care always. Okay, Scott, see you in the morning. Then thanks. In your night, my morning. Thanks for your assistance. Bye-bye, everybody. And remember, the earth is flat. Go look at 200 proofs. Go look at it. 200 proofs the earth is not a spinning ball. Do the experiments, do the research, and then you can come back on next week and say, hey, Mikey, the earth is flat. Yeah, baby. Thanks for letting me know. It is a secret. Bye-bye. Gotta go. I really do have to go. I'm Bing Permy from the Philippines, which of course means take care always. Bye-bye for now.